I've been having this download for the last, I think, about three days or so, and the only thing I would hear was, "Who am I? Who am I? Who am I?" Now, basically, I discovered also that that is the $1 million question. It is that question exactly. The moment I discovered that I could answer that question authentically, it is the very moment that my life changed. But you see, things were different back in the days. I always had a different version of myself. So I had a different version of who I thought I was. You know what I mean? So because I've told you guys, I come from a dysfunctional family basically, and I'd always had this perception of myself, a false perception of myself, depending on how other individuals felt towards me. So I've always been a black sheep. I've always been a scapegoat. You know what I mean? But you see, at the end of this video, you're going to understand the reason as to why I'm bringing out this question to you guys. So this is a question actually you're supposed to ask yourself. Me personally, as an individual, I've already found out and discovered who I am. It has taken me almost 40 years of my life to finally come to that realization of who I really am. Now, this thing started with the greater narcissist. I used to hear the greater narcissist say things like, "You don't even know who you are. You know, you're a very beautiful person, and you do not even know who you are." So for the greater narcissist, it was like some kind of a fuel. You know, she was being fueled because she knew that I did not know who I am. So it was actually working in our advantage because now the greater narcissist to be able to do whatever it is she wanted to do because she knew that I did not know who I am. Now at the end of that entanglement, I had to I had to sit down by myself and I had to ask myself really serious questions. The first thing I asked myself was why does this particular individual think I do not know who I am? Why was I repeatedly hearing that thing? You don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. It's even the beauty of it that you don't. The beauty of it that you do not know who you are, and that thing used to baffle me, ladies and gentlemen. So eventually, I asked myself that question at the end of that entanglement, and that is when I discovered that I was an empath. So when I discovered when I discovered that I was an empath, a lot of things started to make sense. So I was like, oh, now I figured it out. I figured it out. Now I understand what it is. I know what this thing is all about. You know what I mean? So I started to educate myself on empaths. I wanted to find out more who is an empath and what is all about them, what are they all about. So I went into research and I started discovering that I was an empath, about all these things about empaths. And that is when I knew exactly what exactly I was dealing with the last 40 years of my life. So from that moment forward, my life has never been the same. The very moment you understand who you are, ladies and gentlemen, your life is going to take off to a degree you have never seen before. But you see, there's a problem. The moment you discover who you are, you're going to go against the norm. Because now, for example, you have been labeled differently by society. You could have been coming from a family, maybe a family like mine. I don't know about you. Or you could have been involved in certain arrangements with different societies or individuals or groups of people, all different kinds of relationships. And you have always had this image. They have always had this image for you and the name, a general name for you of who you really are. So they have already told you who you are before you actually understood who you are as an individual. And most of the times, when you come to that awakening of finding out who you really are, you're also going to see that a lot of people are going to go against you. So you're going to get out of resistance. When I discovered that I was a black sheep, I was like, okay, so that has been the end of it. I'm not going to be around there. I'm not going to sit around there and start feeling sorry for myself because I was the scapegoat or I was a black sheep. I was going to get out of the pit. I was going to dust off my shoulders and I was going to start working on myself. And guys, believe me, it is when my healing started to take off. In that particular moment, I started to heal to a degree to a degree that I've never seen before. And the more I healed, I also realized that a lot of people around me, people that I used to know, they did not like this healed version of me. Now, I want you guys to listen very closely to this video. We are coming to the bottom of this. The people that I used to know did not like the healed version of me. So I started to get a lot of negative compliments from family members. Oh, who you think you are, what you think, what you call yourself, and the things like that. We are family, we are this. Sometimes, you would see a lot of these friends. They would come around and they would start to fight against you, for no apparent reason. They start to do all kinds of things and to say all kinds of things. So a lot of times, it is the very moment when you are going to realize that you are misunderstood to a degree you've never seen before. Now, I've been doing videos for more than 3 years now. And in my videos, I have clearly stated that I'm a spiritual person. So if you're looking for, Bible verses and scriptures and all those kind of the Jesus stories and everything, yes, I've told you guys all along my journey, I have grown up a Christian. So I have been studying in a Christian school. I've been reading a lot of those things in the Bible. Sometimes, maybe not reading, but even sometimes listening because I had a lot of religious classes as well. But when I discovered who I am, I've told you guys that is exactly when my life started to change, and I've never been the same from that point forward. From that point forwards, and continuously, you will see as you heal as an individual, you will see different individuals coming out of the closet. There may be sometimes people that run into you. There may be sometimes strangers. There may be sometimes people that you used to know. People are going to come out of the closet, and they are going to fight with that version of you that you've discovered that you are. So if I've been a person who has been into abuse, for example, you've been enduring, like you guys already know on my channel, we continuously talk about narcissism. So if you've been a person who has been, engaging with narcissists, the different types of them, and then you discover that, okay, so now you realize it is time for you to take back your power because now you know who you are. So you decide to take back your power and stand in your truth and authenticity. Now, when you start to do that work and to take that journey of healing, the people that you used to know, the guys who used to take advantage of you, who play around with you, abuse you, whatever, manipulate you, steal from you, those individuals, they're going to notice that you're a different version of you and they cannot handle that version. So it's the reason why you see a lot of people, they will come around and they tell you, oh, you know what, I don't know what is wrong with you. I don't know why all of a sudden you decided to start doing this, you decided to start doing that. When I started to do videos, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about 3 years ago, 3 years, actually 3+ years ago, I started to lose so many people. The reason why I lost so many people was because people used to have that perception of me. They had a vision. They had a version of me that they'd always wanted to believe, me to believe. So when I stepped out of that older version of me, those individuals would understand now that they cannot handle the newer version of me. The energy was too high, and they could not handle that frequency. So most of them, what they did now, they started to call me different kinds of names. Oh, I don't know what is wrong with Denzo. You know what I mean? Some people you would hear them saying you're a witch, you're a wizard, you're this and you're that, you're a devil worshipper, you're a satanist, and all those kind of things. Because now finally I understood who I am. Me personally, as a spiritual person, I know who I am. And it is not even closer to being a witch, being a negative person. I always push out positivity because on my channel, I've always emphasized healing, especially when we're talking about narcissistic abuse. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to let you know something very important in your life. When you do not know who you are, and you continuously believe that image of you that other people want you to believe, you are always continuously going to be stuck in a box. I'll repeat this. Until you discover who you are forever going to be stuck in a box, because you are going to be living your life for validation from other people around you. If you have been in a narcissistic family unit, for example, a dysfunctional family unit, there is people who want you to be a scapegoat. They have always wanted you to be a scapegoat from the very moment you were born. But the very moment you're starting to take back your power and you realize that you're not going to be a scapegoat forever, and you're starting to do the things that you've always wanted to do, and to live your life authentically in your truth, that is when it is going to rub those individuals the wrong way, because they cannot handle that frequency. They can no longer do the things that they've always wanted to do. They can no longer say the things that they've always wanted to say to you, because they want you in that little box whereby it was very easy to control and manipulate you. But when you get out of that energy, by asking yourself that question, who am I? And you discover who you are, your life is going to take off to a degree you've never seen before, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know the reason as to why nowadays you're seeing a lot of these narcissists, they're starting to come out and share their version of the story? A lot of them are starting to come out. A couple of them, maybe not a lot of them, but a couple of them are starting to come out. And it is quite making a very big difference, because you see, before they came out, they did not know who they are. I'll repeat this. Before these narcissists knew who they were hidden somewhere doing a lot of evil to different individuals. But now they have finally understood who they are. Okay, so now they discover, or they have found out, they have awakened to the fact that they're narcissists. Now they are able to understand who they are. Not only that, are they also trying to find a solution to their own problems? So you're seeing a lot of them are now starting to come out. And even sometimes it's working for them, because of course, eventually when you start to come out and share your story as a narcissist in your own perspective, you're also continuously going to help some other individuals in one way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? It may not be really like in a healing way, but you're also going to provide a lot of answers to people who have been seeking answers for years. When you wake up one morning and you ask yourself the question, who am I? And you understand who you are, and you embrace that character and that person, that who you really are. I'm talking about the person that who you really are, not the person that you've always thought you were before that kind of awakening, but you discover who you really are. It is exactly that moment that is going to change your life, ladies and gentlemen. 3 years ago, I awakened from abuse. My life has never been the same. Do you know the reason why? It's because I ask myself a lot of questions. What do I need to do? It's been a lot of abuse over the years for my entire life. So what do I really need to do to live a better life, to live a life of balance? You know what I mean? To start standing in my power and get more balance in my life. I started to ask myself a lot of these questions. And ladies and gentlemen, with the help of God, I was able to find out that I was an empath. When I discovered that I was an empath, I was also able to come out as an empath and start helping a lot of people. Now, you see, along your journey as well, the more you stand into your authenticity, I've told you guys, there is going to be resistance. There is people who are going to come around and call you names, because you see, the problem is there's a lot of wounded souls on this planet. There is so many wounded souls walking on this earth. When you start healing and you start standing in your power and speaking your truth, you're going to get a lot of resistance. Number one is going to be from the people that you used to know. And number two is going to get a lot of resistance. You're going to get a lot of resistance from a lot of wounded souls. Because you see, a person who is healed and a person who is still struggling and wounded, there are people on a different frequency. So sometimes your frequency is too high for these individuals, and they cannot really understand how do you do the things you do, what keeps you motivated, what keeps you going. You know what I mean? They do not understand. People do not understand that you spent a long period of time working on yourself. And most of the times, A lot of us guys who have been doing the work, we have been doing this work in private. So we do not come out everywhere and tell everybody that we are healing this and this. So we normally do this work in private. But the very moment you start to do the work and put in the work is the reason why I've told you guys in my videos. You have got to make sure you do everything in your power to heal. You're going to come to that place whereby you're going to vibrate higher. And the people who are on a very low frequency, I'm talking about a lot of wounded souls and warriors, they are not going to see you in that same image. So a lot of individuals, they are going to look at you and label you names that you've never had before. There is people who don't know how to heal all over the planet. Many people do not know how to heal, and many people do not know that they're struggling with trauma. So sometimes when you meet these kind of wounded warriors or people, they may want to project that trauma onto you because it is the way they feel about themselves. You know what I mean? Because they have not come to that healing, the point of healing whereby they really need to understand. They have come to that realization of who they are. So normally what happens when you come across wounded warriors and you're a healed version of yourself, you are always going to be on a very high frequency. And that frequency is very, very heavy and intense for the people who are still vibrating very low. So do not be surprised as to why you continuously hear so many things about you. Or, you'll meet family members and they say, oh, you know what, did you hear what Denzo is doing? You know, Denzo is a witch, or Denzo is like this, or this one is like that. So a lot of people are going to continuously label you different names because they do not understand who you are. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. The moment you find out who you are, who you really are, on a soul level, you're going to confuse a lot of different souls. You have to be ready to be hated because when you discover who you are going to start living authentically. But the more you heal and you live in the authentic version of yourself, it is going to rub people the wrong way. So people will run away from you, people will start to hate you, people will start to call you different types of names. People will do anything to make sure that they bring you back to their frequency. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to let you know a healed person is an unstoppable person. I'll repeat this. If you're a healed individual, it is going to put you in that frequency whereby you are unstoppable. Because when you discover who you are, you're going to notice your life is going to start to change. Because from that point forwards, you'll be able to do the things you've always wanted to do. Not because you want to impress anybody or you're seeking or searching for validation, but you're doing things because it is your authentic version. I wasn't making videos many years ago. I wasn't helping anybody. Do you know the reason why? I wasn't a healed person. So if you're not a healed person, you're not in good position to help people. But when you start healing and understanding the beauty and the benefits of this healing process, you're also in position to help other individuals to become like you. At least even to get somewhere in life. You know what I mean? You may not really answer all their questions, what they have in life, but it's going to put you in a position whereby you are able to help so many individuals around you. Even sometimes it could be your own family members and friends. You know what I mean? So the reason why I'm doing this video is if you're a person out there who is lost, you do not know what is going on, you do not know where to go, you don't even know who you are, you have got to start finding ways to answer that question. If you're a narcissist, sit down with yourself, embrace your narcissism, and see what you can do about it. It could be sometime going and seeking some help, even a little help, even just a little bit of it. But whichever shape or form, you're going to start seeking help if you're a narcissist. If you know that you're an empath, the very first thing you do, you take back your power. You understand that you're not going to be that good Samaritan. You're not going to be that people who is just like paving the way for other individuals to go, and then you are the one who is staying behind. You're going to start stepping back in your power and doing those things that you came here to do. I'm talking about stepping into the healed version of you. So most of the times, you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, chosen ones, your healing, it will hit different the very moment you discover who you are. If you're a witch, you might as well go ahead and do things that witches do. If you're a narcissist, you might as well go ahead and see what you can do about this narcissism. Even if it's in that narcissistic way. Like I've told you guys, I've seen a couple of narcissists now who are starting to come out and at least do some work on themselves. You know what I mean? Even sometimes help one or two people out there. You know what I mean? If you're an empath, you will know what to do, but I'll guarantee you guys something very important. The very moment you discover who you are on a soul level, it is when you're going to start experiencing the biggest shift in your life you've never seen before. You could be an artist, for example, but you've been doing some work in a certain factory somewhere. You could be a musician, but at the current moment you're cleaning somebody's house or you're babysitting somebody's children. But you have got a talent or a gift. You are an artist or you're a musician or you're a footballer, but you haven't yet discovered your passions, because the reason why you haven't discovered your passions and even sometimes used those passions to your advantage is because you have simply not answered the question who you are. You have got to sit down with yourself in silence, meditate and pray and ask yourself a question: who are you? The reason why they call that question a $1 million question is because that is the question that you will answer yourself, and it is going to change your life to a magnitude you've never seen before. Ladies and gentlemen, when you finally find out who you are, your life will never be the same. But of course, like I'm saying, you're going to start healing. Of course, you're going to start healing a lot of things. You're going to start shedding the ego and getting rid of the things that used to drag you behind. You know what I mean? Backwards. And you're going to start moving forward in a very positive way. And most of the times, you're going to see at some point in time that you're a completely different version of that person that you used to think you are prior to discovering who you really are on a soul level. So let me know what you think about this video, guys, in the comment section below. Remember that everybody heals differently. Do not judge people when you see people, running around, in your presence, calling you names, trying to do it, all these kind of things, name calling and abusing. You've got to understand everybody heals differently. And you're supposed to respect people, everybody in their own way, depending on their level of healing and where they are in life. I'm talking about in the soul level. So understand that there's some people who are not really healed the same way you are. Don't judge them. Be compassionate with them and leave them in their own way until they get to that point where they're going to start doing the inner work. So I would like to let you guys know that I always book sessions. You can book a session with me. If you want to, the email will be in the description section below. And for those of you who always want to support me, I thank you very much. You have always been supporting me on this journey. You can always find the donations, my Cashapp and PayPal, if you want to donate and support my channel. Everything you need, you will find it in the description section below. And until then, guys, like the page, share and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in my next one. There's Amos signing out.